The movie begins with a small fox playing on the edge of a mountain. It accidentally slips and almost falls to its death, but manages to grab onto the edge just in time. Just as the fox is about to fall, a child appears at the last moment and rescues it, pulling it to safety. However, in a twist of fate, the child slips and ends up in the same precarious position the fox was in. However, the fox is unable to save the child, who falls and dies. The fox then descends and sits beside the child, deeply saddened and crying. In a distant realm, a group of foxes transforms into humanoid beings. They gather at a magical cave adorned with runes and spells for protection. However, one of them, named Bai, is barred from entering by the mentor, Kohai, who expels him. Despite his peers mocking him, Bai manages to sneak into the cave to attend the meeting. At the meeting, the White Fox chieftain with 9 tails explains that human souls are nourished by the sun and moon. Inside them is an elixir that can transform foxes into immortals, allowing them to live forever. However, gathering human souls occurs at specific times and is never easy. It has always been the most challenging and crucial test for foxes. The higher the quality of the soul or elixir, the stronger the fox becomes. A group of students will be able to obtain the elixir from humans. Among them, a student managed to acquire a special type of elixir and transformed into a fox with 5 tails. The more tails a fox has, the stronger it becomes. The acquisition of the elixir involved deceit and trickery rather than honorable means. However, the most important news is that next month, the rare white elixir will appear, which only shows up every 1,000 years. If a fox can obtain this rare white soul and trick the human into willingly giving it, the fox will transform into the most powerful fox of all with 9 tails. This is the ultimate dream of any member of the Fox clan. At this time, the students go on stage to touch the sacred gem to discover their prophecy. However, the chieftain senses something is wrong and tells them that someone is missing, so the ceremony cannot proceed. One of them is supposed to have the rare white soul within their prophecy. At that moment, Bai reveals himself and says he should be with them. He asks the chieftain for permission and stands with the students. When Bai touches the gem with the others, it activates. But strangely, his hand is the only one that gets pulled inside. He receives his soul symbol, which will help him locate the human from whom he will steal the elixir. However, the symbol was strange and incomplete. The chieftain warns Bai that he faces a high risk of death and might fail in his mission. Seeing that Bai is determined to take on the test, the chieftain gives him a legendary weapon that will allow him to kill monsters and demons, thereby easing his mission. Bai is overjoyed and rushes to start his quest. However, before he leaves, he steals the chieftain's gem, which will aid him in finding the human. After Bai departs the cave, Kohai expresses concern to the chieftain, fearing for Bai's safety. Kohai notes that obtaining the white elixir is extremely difficult, and many foxes have died attempting it. He doubts that Bai, who is inexperienced, will be able to succeed. The chieftain tells Kohai that he has faith in Bai's ability to find the elixir. Therefore, he asks Kohai to keep a close watch on Bai and ensure his safety. Bai runs through the forest, thrilled to finally no longer be an outcast among the foxes. He is excited about the opportunity to obtain the white soul and transition to the human world. The first thing Bai does is head to a roast chicken restaurant, where he eats in large quantities as if he hasn't seen food in years. In the same village, a kind person named Wang appears with his donkey, asking people if they have seen his brother. Fate then leads him to cross paths with Bai. Whenever Wang asks Bai, he doesn't respond because he is too busy eating the chicken and doesn't want to be disturbed. Wang eventually leaves, feeling upset. At that moment, something strange happens. The gem in Bai's pocket starts making noises and tells him that the human destined to provide the soul is very close by. Bai starts walking around the village in search of the human, unsure who exactly to look for. The gem then directs him to a gathering nearby, indicating that the person he is looking for is there. However, the gathering is far from ordinary. It features a strange sorcerer who creates drawings that appear to move and even bleed when cut with a knife. Through the blood, he manages to heal a child in front of everyone, revealing that the figures in the drawings are trapped spirits. When Bai sees the situation, he panics and tries to run but ends up colliding and falling among the donkeys. He is then beaten until Wang's donkey appears, with Wang himself coming to the rescue. Wang helps Bai up and carries him away, while Wang runs after them to ensure their safety. However, something strange happens. As soon as the wizard sees Wang, he casts a spell in the air and throws it at Wang's back without him noticing. In the end, the donkey throws Bai into the forest and leaves. When Wang finds Bai, he asks about his donkey friend, but Bai doesn't know where it went. They both then run around the forest in a frantic search, acting like madmen. Eventually, they become exhausted and sit down to rest. We learn that the donkey is very precious to Wang because it belonged to his brother Doran. This is why Wang is so determined to find it. Bai suggests to Wang that they rest there for the night and search for the donkey later. However, the gem reveals to Bai that Wang is the human with the soul he needs. Bai is thrilled to have found him so easily. Bai takes the opportunity to learn more about Wang and discovers that he is heading to the Imperial examination. Bai tells him that he is also going there and suggests they travel together. Bai starts interacting with Wang in a friendly and genuine manner. When Wang feels hungry, he shares his loaf of bread with Bai and tells him about his brother, Doran, who has been trying to pass the Imperial examination for years. This year, they had planned to go to the exam together after meeting by the riverbanks. Now, Wang is searching for his brother, Doran, but he cannot find him. As night falls, Wang is fast asleep, but Bai senses strange movements around him. He draws his weapon and discovers that it's Kohai, who has come to check on him as instructed by the chieftain. Bai tells Kohai that the human might have the white elixir inside him, and that Kohai should be nice to him now, so that when Bai becomes powerful, he will benefit. Kohai, however, reprimands Bai and explains that his orders from the chieftain are to protect him. Bai asks Kohai to help him find the donkey, explaining that retrieving it will make Wang trust him more. The next day, Wang wakes up and is surprised to find his donkey tied next to him. He is overjoyed and thanks Bai. They then move through the forest together, getting to know each other better. They travel a considerable distance until they reach a strange city shrouded in fog. The city appears deserted and empty with no one in sight. As they explore the city, their fear and anxiety increase. Eventually, they encounter a person who, when Wang asks about a hotel, gestures toward a location. When they arrive at the location, they find it is an academy. The person in charge informs them that the academy prepares students for the Imperial examination to help them pass it more easily. Bai tells the person in charge that they need a room for just one night and don't want to take any classes. The person agrees to let them stay for the night. At night, Wang hears strange noises and searches for Bai. He comes across a frog dropping pieces of gold, but unlike anyone else, Wang doesn't approach it and continues his search for Bai. Eventually, Wang finds the person in charge, who tells him to look into a nearby lake. As soon as Wang gazes into the lake, he notices that the person in charge has disappeared. A gigantic tongue emerges, wraps around Wang's head, and pulls him into the lake. He then finds himself in a place resembling the academy, but with a very strange and disheveled appearance. When Wang looks behind him, he sees a gigantic frog. Terrified, he tries to run, but the frog catches him with its tongue and pulls him back. At that moment, Bai arrives and helps Wang. They both try to escape, but the frog refuses to let them go. They grab the frog's tongue together and attempt to restrain it. However, the frog's immense strength allows it to deliver several powerful blows to them. Suddenly, students appear in the area, appearing as if they are possessed or controlled by ghosts. Wang and Bai try to hide from them, but Wang, terrified, starts screaming and runs away with Bai. Both of them are extremely frightened and terrified of the place. They continue running until they reach the lake, but they find it frozen. At this moment, the frog reappears, grabs Bai, and swallows him. Wang, overcome with fear, runs away in panic. Strangely, Bai emerges from the frog's mouth, and it turns out that the frog is actually the person in charge of the academy. They are in cahoots and are friends. From a distance, they hear Wang's voice. The person in charge transforms back into the frog and swallows Bai again. However, Wang arrives with fire and uses it to burn the frog's tongue and body. The intensity of the flames forces the frog to spit Bai out and collapse against the wall. Eventually, the frog faints. Unfortunately, Bai loses consciousness and his human form. His foxtail and ears become visible. Wang is shocked and stunned when he sees Bai's true form. At this point, Kohai appears and strikes Wang, causing him to lose consciousness as well. Kohai takes Bai and the frog, placing them on a boat. He chastises them for their actions, emphasizing that Bai's behavior was wrong and that he should not have allowed anyone else to do his work for him. Bai tells Kohai that he is willing to do anything for the white elixir. However, Kohai responds that they are not yet certain if Bai is the required person. To verify, they need to take him to the city of Zhang, where they can determine the color of his soul. When Wang regains consciousness, he is shocked to find himself on the boat. He talks to Bai and discovers that Bai is alone, as the others have jumped into the sea. Bai reveals to Wang his true nature as a fox spirit and explains that Wang saved him from falling off the mountain 500 years ago. Wang is astonished, as he doesn't remember this event due to it being from a past life. Strangely, Wang isn't afraid of Bai. Bai then demonstrates his talents and incredible abilities. They continue their journey on the peculiar boat, which is being pushed by the frog, with Kohai disguised as a donkey on board. Eventually, they arrive at the city of Jiang, which is enormous, magnificent, and breathtaking. Wang can hardly believe his eyes at the city's stunning beauty. The first place they visit is a house filled with beautiful girls. One of them approaches Wang and tells him that someone is waiting for him. Wang follows her, thinking that the person waiting is his brother, Duoran. However, they find themselves in a different, very private place, still filled with girls. Kohai, disguised as one of them, tells Bai that this location is where spirits reside. Here, they will be able to see the type and quality of the soul within Wang and determine if it is the white soul they are looking for. Wang finds himself in a locked room with the beautiful ghost, Lian. He perceives her as a human and is captivated by her graceful dancing and beauty. As she moves closer to him, he remains kind and respectful, refraining from touching her. When Lian tries to touch Wang to examine his soul, the spell cast by the wizard prevents her from doing so and throws her away. The strength of the spell causes Lian to bounce from wall to wall until she is finally thrown from the ceiling, resulting in a severe fall that leaves her sitting and crying. Wang mistakenly thinks that Lian is upset, so he speaks kindly to her, gives her a gift, and expresses his admiration, even proposing marriage to her. It is also evident that she is fond of him and has a kind heart. She allows him to study for the exam and plays music for him. Outside the room, Bai is sitting, very puzzled by how the human could reject someone with such beauty. When Wang falls asleep, Lian emerges and speaks with Bai, explaining that she couldn't reveal his soul. He then takes him back to their boat so he can rest. Bai reflects that if Wang's soul hadn't been the one they were seeking, they could have become very close friends. Meanwhile, Kohai appears to Lian and tortures her with his power and magic because she failed to complete her task. He holds the flower containing Lian's soul and threatens her. The next day, Wang continues his search for Doran. Despite his efforts, he hasn't been able to find anything and is feeling very disheartened. Because of this, he fears that he will face the exam tomorrow without his brother and might fail. However, Bai encourages him, assuring him that he has studied well and will succeed. He also tells Wang that he himself isn't a true fox spirit yet and that he has an exam to pass, with no second chances if he fails. In the royal hall, the students taking the exam are inspected as many attempt to cheat or use notes. Those caught are blown up. Wang and Bai receive their answer sheets, along with dozens of other students. Wang is extremely nervous and anxious. However, Bai notices something strange. Someone is passing through the door, unnoticed by anyone. As the new day dawns, the students begin to enter for their exams. The exam supervisor shows the students the questions they need to answer, but Bai appears uninterested, sitting and eating. The supervisor is quite surprised by his behavior. The exam is so difficult that some people start losing their sanity and seeing ghosts. By midnight, the students are still taking the exam, and Bai continues to eat. He notices that Lian has come to check on Wang in her true form without anyone seeing her. Lian goes on to extract Bai's spirit from his body and informs him that an evil ghost in the exam room will capture a group of students' souls, including Wang's tonight. At that moment, the ghost will be able to take the white elixir from Wang after killing him. However, Lian asks Bai to help her obtain her lotus flower from Kohai in return, and then she leaves him. Bai waits until the moment Wang's spirit leaves his body. He finds Wang's spirit standing among the students and discovers that the spirit of Daoran is among them, taking the exam. It turns out that Daoran is the evil spirit. He reveals his true form and chases after Wang, but he defends him with the weapon he has. He tells Wang that he needs to return to his body before it's too late. When Wang sees the true, hideous form of Daoran and realizes he's dead, he gets scared and runs away. However, Daoran creates a barrier with exam papers and traps them in a paper box, with the words, "moving to attack Wang." Despite Bai's attempts to protect him, he struggles because Daoran's spirit is incredibly powerful, pulling Wang's spirit into a vortex of ink. But Bai forgets his mission and everything else, focusing solely on saving his friend. He jumps after Wang and finds himself in a room filled with the trapped souls of students that Daoran has imprisoned. All these spirits begin to attack him, and just as Daoran tries to extract his brother's soul, at the last moment, he remembers who he is and his true nature. Realizing that he was never truly evil and that the one before him is his younger brother, he stops his actions. At the same time as Daoran weakens, the gem with Bai emits a powerful light that vanquishes the evil spirits and returns the students' souls to their rightful place, along with Daoran. His final words to his brother are a warning to be cautious of the fox spirit, who desires the special elixir meant for him. Both Bai and Wang return to their original bodies, and each remembers the events in detail. After the exam ends, Wang thanks Bai for saving him and his spirit. However, Bai is saddened because the gem, which was considered a treasure for his clan, was destroyed in the process of saving them. At that moment, Wang recalls his brother's words and asks Bai about the elixir of souls. However, Bai is unable to respond. Suddenly, Wang tells him that if the elixir is important to him, he can give it to him. His only wish is for Leon, whose story was very tragic after she was captured by humans and sold to brothels. Unable to endure it, she threw herself into the river. However, she was very angry and turned into a ghost, and her soul remained inside a lotus flower, feeding on human hearts and blood to remain beautiful. Wang knows all this and understands that only someone who truly loves her will be able to return her soul. Despite Bai's insistence, he can't stop Wang, who goes to get new clothes and proposes to Leon. He brings her an engagement gift and tells her that he truly loves her and doesn't care if she is a ghost. Since Leon is also fond of Wang, she can't bring herself to agree to be with him and condemn him to a dark fate. Despite her struggle, Wang's heartfelt words and determination to marry her, even if it means risking his life, move her deeply. Overwhelmed by his devotion and love, she accepts the engagement gift and agrees to be with him. Bai and Kohai overhear everything, and at that moment, Leon tells Wang that she will resign and take him away. They escape together. Bai hits Kohai on the head, knocking him unconscious, and then escapes as well, standing in front of them. However, Leon tells Wang that Bai wants to exploit the wedding celebration to steal his elixir, and she attacks him without hesitation, defending her beloved. Wang defends Bai as he is sure he is his friend, and tells her that if he wants the elixir, he has no problem with it. But she warns him that if Bai takes it, he will die. She keeps attacking Bai, who insists that he doesn't want to harm anyone and only asks her to listen, but she doesn't give him a chance, until Wang begs her to let him go and not kill him, forcing her to listen and release him. Suddenly, the frog appears from behind her and stabs her, saving Bai. However, Bai is surprised by the frog's actions, as he didn't want this to happen. Leon, badly injured and on the verge of death, takes Wang and escapes to the riverbank. She collapses into his arms, asking for his forgiveness and thanking him for his love. She says she has only seen kindness and tenderness through him. Leon then transforms into light, floats away with the wind, and leaves Wang grieving and heartbroken, having lost the one person he truly loved. Bai stands next to them, watching sadly, and sees how deeply Wang is affected. Wang blames him for everything, accusing him of being the cause of all this suffering after he considered him a friend. He says he no longer wants anything and only wishes for death, telling Bai to take his elixir if he wants it, as he no longer cares about anything. However, Bai tells him he doesn't want anything from him because Wang is the most precious person to him in the world. They continue to argue until Bai grabs his weapon and prepares to stab himself to prove that he truly wants nothing from Wang. Suddenly, a portal opens, pulling Bai to where the tribe leader and Kohai are. The leader tells Bai that 500 years ago, when Wang saved him, he was deeply saddened, and his tears were absorbed into Wang's soul, becoming the elixir inside him. Because of this, Bai is the only one who can harvest it, and this is his destiny. He explains that Wang's fate is always to face failure, and no one can escape their destiny. Although it is harsh, it is a test that must be passed. Wang needs to obtain the elixir to resolve all his issues and become a true fox spirit. At this moment, Wang is walking in the forest when Bai returns and asks for his forgiveness after everything he has done. Bai admits that he did everything for the elixir but promises not to deceive Wang again. He suggests that they should each go their separate ways. However, Wang tells him that he is indeed his dearest friend. After everything that happened and the death of Leon, he no longer wants to continue his life. He asks Bai to take the elixir as a gift and to live forever. Wang pulls out a knife and stabs himself, giving the elixir to Bai. However, it turns out that Kohai is actually the one who has deceived him, and the real Bai arrives and discovers what has happened. It is revealed that Kohai wanted to steal the white elixir for himself. Seeing his friend dead, Bai collapses next to him in anger and grief. Kohai reveals that what was inside Wang was just ordinary black elixir and not worth all the trouble. Bai refuses to let Kohai leave easily and pursues him with a weapon, leading to a fierce battle where Kohai uses his immense strength. When Bai beats him several times, damaging his face, Kohai transforms into a terrifying black fox with 7 tails. His strength is overwhelming, and he tortures Bai, breaking his bones until he fell next to Wang's elixir. Suddenly, Kohai uses his tail to kill Bai. In the final moments of his life, Bai recalls all the happy times spent with his friend Wang as he looks at him lifeless. Determined to avenge him, he touches Wang's elixir, which suddenly turns white and emits a powerful light that reaches the sky. A tremendous energy descends and enters Bai, transforming him into a gigantic fox with 9 tails and incredible power. Kohai is unable to withstand his might and takes hit after hit until he attempts to flee. However, Bai moves with incredible speed and grabs him by the neck, ready to kill him. However, Bai remembers Wang's words about wanting to be a kind spirit and protect people. He decides to spare Kohai and not kill him, giving Kohai the chance to escape. After a while, Wang wakes up, which is very strange. He gets up, gathers his things, and leaves, not understanding what has happened or why he is there. He returns home, feeling that he has forgotten many things from his recent past. One day, while Wang is in the forest, he finds an injured baby fox. He takes it in, cares for it, and decides to name it Bai. At that moment, he recalls what happened and realizes that after Bai took the power that every fox dreams of, he was unable to continue or live without his friend. Wang wishes to the heavens to give up all his power in exchange for bringing his friend back to life. His wish is granted, and he transforms into a small fox. Although Wang will forget everything about the past, which deeply pains him, fate reunites them together again. Their friendship will continue anew, and they will live together once more.